Aloha friends, it's Robert Stellick with Blue Planet Surf. I'm going to talk a little bit about stroke technique today. The phases of a stroke and how to be more efficient and go faster using good technique. Technique is super important. You can go faster without getting any more physically fit. So a lot of times just by improving your technique, you can improve your board speed significantly, like 5 to 10%, just using better technique without adding any physical fitness or training that can take months to achieve that kind of gain. Really focus on your technique. The basic parts of a stroke are catch, power phase, release, recovery. On the catch, you want to make sure you plant the whole blade in the water. So the whole blade should be underwater when you get a nice smooth catch. You want to kind of slice the paddle into the water. You don't want to pull the paddle down into the water. You want to slice it into the water and then pull on it. For the power phase, I like to kind of think of the power phase as 3 different ingredients that you can put into it. One is pushing with your top hand, which is just kind of pushing out with the top hand, which can be good for acceleration, but it'll wear out your arm pretty quickly if you're just pushing with your top hand the whole time. So keeping the arms a little bit more straight is probably the most efficient way to paddle. And then using a twisting motion. So for the twist, a good drill is to put the paddle against your hips, like hold it with straight arms against your hips, then twist your hips forward so the paddle points forward, then plant it in the water, and then unwind that twist. So really make sure you twist from your hips and your shoulder. So by putting the paddle against your hips, you can twist with your hips and your shoulder and then unwind that twist. So that's the twisting, that's the second ingredient. And then the third ingredient is leaning into the stroke. So that's pushing down with your top hand and kind of falling onto the paddle. And that part, you're kind of using gravity to lean forward and fall onto the paddle. This is a good technique to use when you're getting tired and you're getting tired of pushing and twisting. You just use gravity and lean down onto the paddle to propel yourself forward. So you can use those 3 ingredients together, all together, or focus on one more than the other 2 to save energy. Those are the main 3 ingredients I like to use. So basically pushing with your top arm, which can help with quick acceleration. Then the twisting with your shoulders, and that works your core muscles. And then the other one is kind of falling onto the paddle and leaning into it. Okay, so that's the power phase. And then the exit. On the exit, you want to kind of have it at about where your feet are. You only want to pull to about where your feet are, and then you start recovering. And you want to twist with your top hand, kind of like you're twisting a door handle, to feather the blade outward. And then as you're feathering, you pull it out and forward again. So if you time the feather properly with the exit, you can have, it's like almost like the paddle comes out and forward by itself. You don't necessarily need to lift the paddle out of the water very much. If you're feathering, it can kind of come forward before you even exit the water. And a good drill for that is to slice the paddle forward through the water without pulling it out of the water. Just using the blade in the water, feathering it to bring it back forward. So the feathering is also really helpful if you're going upwind, because it basically reduces the surface area of the blade into the wind. So feathering is really important. And then at the front, you bring the paddle blade back square to the water, square to your pull. And then I like to enter the water a little bit away from the rail. And then as I'm pulling it back, I'm gonna come really close to the rail where I'm exiting. During the recovery, you kind of want to straighten out your back. I like to inhale during the recovery and then kind of relax for a moment, take a little breather. You do want to make it quick. Like you want to keep the paddle in the water as much as you can, and especially if you're going upwind, you want to keep that recovery short and quick and spend more time paddling forward than recovering. So those are the catch, the power phase, the exit, the recovery, 4 parts of a stroke. So work on those and work on your efficiency. That'll really help you become a faster paddler without spending more energy. Basically, minimum amount of energy expenditure for the maximum amount of speed. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to the Blue Planet Surf YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the water. Aloha.